Hello and welcome along to another episode and a crucial one from this FM22 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 94 today and we are back for an FA Cup final with Manchester United. We face Liverpool in the showpiece event, the third domestic final we faced them in this season. And if we do win it, we've wrapped up the big domestic treble and technically a quadruple if you include the Community Shield. The Champions League still looks some way from eluding us. That's going to be the next big aim. Maybe we're going to turn into the modern Manchester City, who knows. But if you're looking forward to finding out if we can do the job, whether Liverpool put up a big fight without the two jowls up front, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. It's a big season in the Hemel save. We're having a wonderful time. I'll put the latest transfer special up in the eye above. There's also a link there to the Twitch channel and the football podcast for regular content. And you can support the show as a channel member if you wish by clicking the join button down below. But thank you as always for your incredible support as we get going with the FA Cup final. It promises to be a massive event because for us the pressure is huge trying to get a domestic treble. We've got the League Cup, we've got the Premier League title. And for Liverpool, the pressure is trying to finally beat us in one. They knocked us out of last year's FA Cup. We've never won this competition as a manager. And I don't know the last time that Manchester United won it actually, because they hadn't won a trophy in 4 years when we joined. And the FA Cup, 2016. So it was the real life one against Crystal Palace 16 years ago. They've had 2 appearances in the final as runners-up. Let's hope it's not the third time today. And then we can focus on the big one after that, which is getting that Champions League back for the first time in 25 years. But for now, it's all about a big game against Liverpool. There are a couple of results to go through off camera, and there are some momentous events to talk about too. So let's start with the schedule. You were with me as we wrapped up the title at City and then that bonkers 4-4 draw against Everton. Against Southampton at home, we bounced back in style. We played the third choice keeper. We played Gafarou Diallo, Marco Halloran, a couple of the youngsters from the youth team. Alberti, Cliff and Duncan came on, all to add to the same. But that was the brilliance of it. We still won 4-0 at home. We're virtually invincible. And it was a fantastic performance. Magno Luiz, Russell Thompson, still getting his name right, Marcus Rashford and Gino Alberti with a late fourth. But a really good performance, a really good day at the office, and great to see some youngsters coming through. Of course, we will have our season review after. We'll reflect on what should be a very successful season. And we were quite lucky to get to the final, weren't we? A couple of episodes ago against Brighton. But there's some more news in terms of this season and this game, because for Bruno Fernandes, our number 10, our captain, our talisman, it is his final game for the club. He is going to be retiring after this. He's not taken the option to reconsider just yet. And that means there's going to be a big void to fill in this squad in the summer. And whether John Murtow can do that, I don't know. Or whether we can tempt him to stay once more, I don't know, for another year. There's also Jeremy Frimpong leaving. He's played his last game. He will not be staying with us this year. He's gone to Real Sociedad on a pre-contract deal, and he's not even going to be in the squad for the cup final today. The rest of it, who knows? There's so many players wanted, there's so many getting older, and there's so many struggling physically. But there's no one else out of contract. A few have signed new deals. Zolis has been offered another year, but we've also seen Pavati sign a record 5-year deal. We've seen plenty of others sign 3- and 4-year deals. Magno Luiz, one of those, on reduced terms in terms of squad impacts. He's only expecting to be a squad player now. And a couple of the others have extended a little bit too, but it's not the strongest squad in the world in terms of youngsters, because even some of those aren't really tied down. But next year, you look at the summer, Mbappe out of contract, Johnny, Rashford, we've got Zolis as well if he doesn't sign a new deal. But a lot of ageing players in this squad, and it is going to be a very interesting summer. And maybe one ruthlessly where we have to look to move on. It would be a fairy tale to win a Champions League with United, do it for the first time in a quarter of a century. But realistically, Bayern or someone like that give us a much better chance. We saw how much stronger they are. That's all to worry about after today though, because it is the FA Cup final. It is my favourite competition, and it's an opportunity for us to wrap up a historic treble. And if we do end up leaving, the slim chance there is, it will be one hell of a way to do it. So in terms of the headline news, Frimpong misses out on the squad, as does Emre Azun, Asher Gumbi, Magno Luiz and the backup keepers. But the team for today is as strong as it can be. We've got Ilian Meslier in goal, Gaia and Pavati the fullbacks with Bassone and Ignacio a centre-half, and Ponza and Jalocca in central midfield, Rashford starting off the left, Sancho just coming back from a long injury, Zolis in a bit of a contract dispute, Yakubu is over on the right in the form of his life, and then Bruno Fernandes, his final appearance before retirement, and you couldn't get a much bigger stage, could you? He's behind Kylian Mbappe, just the 61 goals this season, but only 2 in the FA Cup. Let's see if he can add to that tally today. Let me know in the comments if you think we'll win it, or is it going to be heartbreak in the final game of the season? Let's go and head off to Wembley and find out in front of a capacity crowd. So 10 changes from the last league game for us, only Rashford keeping his place out on the left. What we have got though in this Liverpool side is a little bit of rotation. You've got Max Aarons and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Looks like Trent's going to be playing in midfield. Christopher Ayer at the back, Cavadio left back. It's an experienced team. Amu, the big summer signing last year, is playing on the right. Kevin Brown's covering up front with the 2 Jowls out. And they've got a pretty strong bench as well. Malambo is the man who put us out the FA Cup last year. Branthwaite, an Everton youngster, that's a strange one. And then Smith Rowe, McFarlane's played regularly against us before. I don't really know what to expect from Thomas Frank's side. We're going to see how we get on, but we battered them in the Community Shield. We beat them comfortably in the League Cup. It's just whether they can produce that performance from last year. They're an FA Cup specialist by the looks of things. Well, let's see if they can produce again today. Liverpool v United. What an FA Cup final this should be. Well, I say what a final it should be. We've got 19 minutes without a highlight, without much in terms of the chances, though we have had all of the stats. But here come Liverpool with the first attack. Maglio gets there from a nice back heel. Shot straight at Meslier, though. It's not the best effort in the world. And it is the first shot for Liverpool, so that's a bit of a positive for them. But we're dominating possession. We've had more of the shots, apparently. It's just whether we make it count, because with half an hour gone, we've not seen much going forward, though. We've got to throw in an advanced position here. Worked into the box towards Gaia, who had cut inside from right back. Back to Ignacio. He's got support from Jalocca. And it's Ignacio again, but not finding our way forward yet. Pavati, back to Ignacio. Into Bruno Fernandes. Nice turn to Amponza. Through to Kylian Mbappe. Puts it wide at a post from about 12 yards. You'd bank on him to score that. He's been very good this season. But that one was more of a shade of the year before. As a moves on the right-hand side with a throw to Kevin Brown. We know his threat. Alexander-Arnold. Maglio. Kevin Brown again. It's good football out to Max Aarons on the right. He's got the chance to cross from the byline. It's a good block though from Pavati. Trent finds him again though. Max Aarons crosses in. Jorginho's there. Takes a little deflection off Ignacio. Just took the sting out of it. And thankfully Meslier was able to react. He saves it. It remains goalless. This has been a pretty poor and a pretty even first half. So we're going to have to tell the lads to do it for the fans. Get a little bit of motivation into them. And try and get a better performance. But at the moment, it's just been a bit of a damp squib, hasn't it? Not been great at all. Let's hope that changes now. And we're going straight from the kickoff, which never a good sign. As Trent Alexander-Arnold finds Christopher Ayer. And it's Liverpool on the front foot again. They are growing into this game. And for them, this is the be-all and end-all. For us, maybe some of the lads have already achieved the biggest things this year. As Meslier, dodgily playing out from the back, gets away with it though. And Ignacio probably rightly goes long. Mbappe knocks it down for Rashford. A bit too much time up there for Liverpool's liking. And it's back to Amponza. Over to Yakubu. He gets himself in. Forced to a wide angle. He goes round the keeper. But can only hit the outside of the post. It remains 0-0. We've started well. But we're not able to find that breakthrough. As we've got a corner with Bruno Fernandes. And after all of the caginess from open play, it's as easy as you like to get the opening goal. A big corner in from Bruno to the back stick. We're going to miss that delivery next season. And Yakubu, 6'6" at the back post, just rises above everyone to nod in. As Amponza brings it away, can we open things up now and get a second? Yakubu down the right. It's not a good ball. Fernandes won't get there. It's back to the keeper. Liverpool clear long, only as far as Ignacio. Up to Rashford. Is he onside? Doesn't matter. He curls his banana shot just over the bar. Real curve on it. It was absolutely fantastic. But an hour gone, it's 1-0. And we're looking in control at the moment. As Pavati throws into Jalocca to the back post. Punched away as far as Gaia. Yakubu by the byline. He's got 2 men surrounding him. It's well won in the end. He appeals for a penalty. He's never getting that. It's back to Gavardio. They've got 3 or 4 on the counter down this side. Down the line to Jorginho. Liverpool might catch us out here. Not what we need after our best spell of the match. Back to Kevin Brown. Jorginho. Brown. Good block from Bruno Fernandes. Still working hard defensively. And Jalocka gets it away to the left to Pavati. Up to Marcus Rashford. It's come to life this game. Mbappe. Got Yakubu over on the right. Plays short to him. Gets back into the box. He's found. And it's a good save down to his left from Cala. Corner kick. Manchester United doing well. We just need that second goal to shore things up. As Fernandes puts it in again. Almost the same route. But it's over everyone out for a throw. And we're going to make our first change. Jadon Sancho back from long-term injury. He'll replace Rashford on his natural left wing. We're just over 15 minutes to go. Jalocka's not had the best game in the middle. So I'm going to replace him with Johnny, I think. Or maybe even Hannibal. I don't think there's much between them. So let's bring Hannibal on as the centre midfielder. And then we'll maybe take Bruno off towards the end. Just give him that standing ovation. But if we go to extra time, I'd like him on for penalties. And Pavati's got a booking at left back. So it's going to be Bordenelli. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go. It's not been a vintage cup final. It's not been a great performance. But if we can nick this 1-0, it'll be a historic moment for the club. First domestic treble since 1999. It could be something else as Sancho wins a challenge on halfway, but it falls for Maglio. Jorginho through to midfield. Smith-Rowe's making a run on the left, the sub, but Gaia intercepts. Away to Yakubu. Can we counter now? Mbappe's up there. There's supporting midfield from Fernandes. There's now Hannibal making his run forward. Yakubu to Fernandes. 1-2. Back to Hannibal on the edge. On the volley. Just wide of the post. It's a cracking effort. But he can't quite put it to bed. If he'd scored that, it would have been the goal that deserved to win the cup final. Having said that, we've played 4 minutes of stoppage time. And it is a domestic treble for Manchester United. Chuck in the Community Shield as well. All 3 of them, Community Shield, League Cup and FA Cup, won against Liverpool, the same opponent. They've got harder each time. The scoreline and the margins have got narrower. But we win the Emirates FA Cup. And it is a fantastic way to finish the season. Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup check. But can we win a Champions League at Manchester United? That's the question we have to ask ourselves this summer. And I guess John Murtaugh is probably going to shape that in replacing Bruno Fernandes' retirement. 1-0 it finishes here to Manchester United. A fantastic effort at Wembley Stadium. And although it wasn't vintage and we weren't dominant, I think we just about deserved it in the end. So congratulations to the lads on the win. And we'll be back in a minute for our end of season review. And maybe to have a look at the job front as well. Well, that looks pretty nice, doesn't it? A Premier League title, an FA Cup trophy, a League Cup, and of course the Community Shield. We are still missing that Champions League. We want to get a chance at the Super Cup. We've not won a Europa League in this series either, but that's not going to be happening here. But we've got to be pleased with the season. It's progression, and that is the most important thing. Last year, it was a league title and a Europa Conference. This year, we've defended the title, we've become the dominant force in England, and we've managed to pick up all the domestic cups, and that keeps the other teams on their tails, unless, of course, one of them goes to win the European Cup. So let's have a look at the new arrivals this season. Wasn't a big summer, wasn't a big year. 2 goalkeepers came in who did okay when they were called upon. Van der Voort, particularly in the FA Cup semi-final, did a great job. Xavier Benjamin, a really good signing at centre-half, filled the boots of Fofana quite nicely in the end. And Emre Özcan, bit of a squad player, but did all right when he was needed. In terms of transfers out, I was a bit annoyed about the Fofana one, and you can see he had a great season for PSG. He'd still be our best defender, but we're a little bit younger for it, which I guess is a positive. I'm still annoyed, definitely, at the sale of Domingo Silic, who was the best young winger at the club. He's now moved on as well, and he had a really good season at Atalanta. I guess we have to be fair with the others and say there has been a bit of regeneration in the squad, because Ben White left at 34, Dahlberg at 33, Shirky was a disastrous signing anyway, but then a few of the other younger players went as well. So this summer I feel the squad needs to get younger, and I'm going to be watching the director of football really closely. We've had some players out on loan that have done quite well. Voloshin really delivered, so might have a role for him in the team next season. Fraser McIntyre improving out on loan might be someone we can use. And Santiago Casal will be back after another half a year out on loan. But the one I'm really looking out for is this guy down the bottom, Rhett Nieto. Is he going to be challenging for first choice keeper next year? Because he's had another great season out. He's done well over a few years now. And I really feel as a wonder kid, he's getting close to that level. Same for Timo Erdogan, actually, who was out on loan with him. He's improving at left back. And we have got to discuss at some point, are they going to make that next progression? So, going to be an interesting summer on that front. Let's have a look at the results this season. The Premier League, look, we weren't great. We really weren't great. City had the chance to catch us in the running, but they bottled it. If they'd won that game against Brighton with 4 games to go and then beaten us, they would have been ahead of us with 1 more game played. And the pressure would have been very different. But you can see the difference. We just don't lose many games. And those draws that we managed to pick up, the 0-0 on the opening day, those odd points on the road when we weren't at our best and we had sort of fatigued players out or we had a rotated side, they proved crucial because they separated us from the rest. And when you've got sides like Chelsea, who last year were on the high 80s and now have dropped into the 70s, there's just not consistency, which is really tough to take. In terms of the European Cup, out in the quarter-finals pretty convincingly to Bayern Munich, and we're a long way from competing in that, let me tell you. The FA Cup, we were fortunate to get past Brighton, and the final was tight, but we deserved to win it. The League Cup, it was pretty easy in the end. At Southampton, Van der Voort was fantastic. Other than that, it was a dominant competition for us. And the Community Shield final was just ridiculous, wasn't it? We saw that on the opening day of the season. It was our biggest win, 9-1 in that one at Wembley. The match to remember, a 6-0 against Villa. I don't remember it standing out, but it was obviously good. And goal of the season was Yakubu against Brighton. Daisy cutter from 24 yards in a game where we narrowly won on the road. Another one of those that's crucial to the title. The finances haven't dipped anywhere near as much as last year. That's got to be a big positive for us. All of the revenues and that once the season's done will be high up because we've been in the Champions League rather than Europa Conference. We've got that 5-star worldwide club reputation, but there is a worry on the merchandise and commercial front. Virtually all the stars at this club are the old boys. Sancho's had loads of injuries and isn't quite what he was. Fernandes is retiring. Rashford and Mbappe are in their mid-30s now. And Yakubu's the only young one, but he's wanted by big clubs. So it could get very difficult in terms of losing revenue there. I don't see where the next generation is unless they're signed, which, bar maybe Bassone and Sonny Pavati, hasn't happened since we've been here. I can't argue with the best 11. I probably wouldn't have Hannibal in there above Mponza. I probably wouldn't have Sancho in there above Rashford. But I can understand all of the pickings, so no complaints. We were Manager of the Year again. Mbappe obviously wins Player of the Season. He breaks the goals record, 47 league goals in a season, 61 in all competitions. Bruno Fernandes gets 27 assists, a brilliant effort from him in his final year. And Kylian Mbappe, most league goals by a player, he has now beaten and eclipsed Wayne Rooney's record. It's taken some time, but he's earned it. Fair play to the lad. It's a brilliant season, 4 trophies overall, 3 meaningful ones if we're being honest. But the domestic treble wrapped up, it's going to be a big year next year. I cannot wait to see how this squad evolves, or whether we're going to be left with a carcass gradually getting weaker and weaker, as we did with Palace, our last club. We've got players inducted into the overall 11. Yakubu, of course, one of them, deserves to be. Not sure he should be on the bench, but I'm sure it won't be long before he gets in there. And Christoph Gaia is now behind Wan-Bissaka too. Let's have a look at the club vision and expectations, because next season they want us to qualify for the Champions League again. Very modest expectations. Develop the best youth academy in the country and keep playing attacking and entertaining football. There's not really much to it, is there? Squad dynamics update looks absolutely brilliant. The end of season team meeting we'll do in a minute. Let's have a look at the injury report, because there have been a few frustrations on that front. We had Inacio out for 2 months. We had Mponza out for 6 weeks. Fraser McIntyre out on loan but out injured again. And going further down, it's just those 3 or 4 week injuries that are constant that are becoming an issue. Sancho, yes, it's only listed as 2 weeks there, but he started the season injured as well. So it's not been a great year on the injury front, but I guess we've not had the massive ones to big players, like Fofana last year as an example. So a good season overall. We just need to get that Champions League, and I don't see how against sides like Bayern we're going to be able to compete in the near future. They are in the final against Milan. You can see we are the best of the Premier League, but it is a weak Premier League. It is not English sides who are dominant in the Champions League. If we go to the profile, last year it was Bayern, the year before it was PSG, this year it's Milan or Bayern. I genuinely think we're going to have to leave England to win the Champions League this year, unless there's big replacements coming into this club in the summer. I don't know whether there will be. I'm sure we're not going to get much on the job centre yet because those big games haven't even been played. And as you can see, the English, Scottish and UK season's basically the only one that's finished. The rest of them, we're still waiting to see what comes up. But that is season 11 of the Head Coach. It is a very successful one, but the Champions League is starting to grate on me. Will we get the opportunity to compete next year? Well, it probably depends. Will the stars get replaced? Will Bruno Fernandes' retirement be replaced? Will it be a trade-off with Mbappe, with Rashford for younger equivalents? That we'll wait and see next time. If you did enjoy this episode, seeing us wrap up the domestic treble, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. It's going to be a big transfer special on Sunday because the captain, the talisman, is leaving. The rest of the squad is aging. And I have no idea whether we're going to be weaker or stronger than ever when we come back next season. If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. Let me know what you think will happen in the transfer window with the ageing squad and retirements. As I mentioned earlier, there's links in the eye above to the Twitch channel and the football podcast for regular content from both. Please do check us out over there. But above my head now will be the crazy transfer deadline date from the Hemel save a few days ago. Please do give it a try if you haven't already. It has been great fun this year. And I'll see you next time for a summer transfer special here. Thank you for watching as always.